Hello, everyone. I am Thomas. Thank you for joining me today. I am excited to talk about the key focus areas during an environmental, social, and governance, or ESG, audit. ESG audits are becoming essential for organizations that aim to demonstrate their commitment to sustainability, social responsibility, and ethical governance. Before we dive into the focus areas, let's briefly discuss the objectives of an ESG audit. Firstly, it ensures compliance with regulations and standards. Secondly, it assesses the effectiveness of existing ESG policies and practices. Thirdly, it identifies risks and opportunities. Finally, it enhances transparency and accountability to stakeholders. Now, let's talk about defining the scope of the audit. This involves determining the audit's objectives, such as compliance, improvement, or verification. It also includes identifying the relevant ESG framework, like the Global Reporting Initiative, or SASB. Lastly, we need to set boundaries for which departments, subsidiaries, or operations will be included in the audit. Moving on to our first focus area, environmental impact. Key metrics to assess include the carbon footprint, energy consumption and efficiency, water usage, and waste management. It's also crucial to ensure compliance with environmental regulations. Understanding the environmental impact is vital for mitigating risks and enhancing sustainability. Our second focus area is social responsibility. Critical aspects to evaluate include labor practices, such as employee engagement, diversity, and inclusion. We also need to assess health and safety measures, community engagement initiatives, and human rights policies throughout operations and supply chains. Strong social practices can lead to improved employee morale, retention, and brand loyalty. Next, we focus on governance structure. Key elements to examine include board composition, such as diversity, independence, and expertise. Governance policies and ethics codes must also be scrutinized, along with risk management frameworks related to ESG issues and stakeholder engagement strategies. Effective governance ensures accountability and can enhance the organization's reputation. Now let's discuss data collection and analysis. Gathering data involves collecting both quantitative and qualitative information from various sources, such as sustainability reports, employee surveys, and regulatory filings. Analyzing this data requires both quantitative methods for trend analysis and qualitative assessments for context. Accurate data is critical for identifying gaps and measuring performance against benchmarks. Benchmarking is another essential focus area. This involves comparing the organization's performance against industry peers and best practices. It is important to evaluate alignment with the chosen ESG framework. Benchmarking helps identify areas for improvement and sets realistic performance targets. Moving forward, we need to conduct a gap analysis to assess areas where the organization is not meeting standards or stakeholder expectations. Additionally, we should recommend strategies for improving ESG performance. Identifying gaps and opportunities is essential for continuous improvement and effective risk management. Now let's talk about reporting and communication. Audit reports should document findings, including strengths and weaknesses, and provide actionable recommendations. It's important to ensure that these reports are accessible and understandable for all stakeholders. Transparent reporting builds trust and accountability. Finally, continuous improvement and follow-up are crucial. We should collaborate with the organization to develop actionable plans based on audit findings. Establishing processes for ongoing monitoring of ESG performance is essential, as is planning for periodic re-audits to ensure compliance and sustained improvement. Continuous improvement is key to adapting to changing regulations and stakeholder expectations. In conclusion, an effective ESG audit focuses on environmental impact, social responsibility, governance structure, data analysis, benchmarking, and continuous improvement. By prioritizing these areas, organizations can enhance sustainability, build stakeholder trust, and drive long-term success. Thank you for your attention. Hope to see you again. Bye.